Thank you for visiting the Mother in Heart channel, a place to sow seeds of love, nurture filial piety, and ignite the light of awakening from the simple yet profound lessons of the Buddha. This is the first video in the complete series on filial piety, where we explore the golden words of the Buddha teaching about the love for parents, the sacred debt that every child owes and must fulfill completely in their lifetime, the most precious gem in the treasure of every person's character. These images are not only beautiful in color but also imbued with a philosophy of life. Becoming a small lamp, illuminating people's hearts, helping us to understand. Parents are the Buddha in front of us. Repaying their kindness is true cultivation. What does the Buddha teach about the love for parents? Life lessons for young people. The beginning of all miracles. Parents, have you ever wondered, who was the first person to believe in you when the whole world didn't know who you were? Who waited for you to speak and then lived in silence for a lifetime? Just to listen to you? It is Father. It is Mother. The two people who spent their youth, both pain and joy, to raise you day by day. But then, you grow up, you step out into the world. You forget the one who stayed up all night just for you to sleep peacefully. In the Buddha's view, parents are not only those who give birth to us, but are the root of all human morality. They are the living Buddhas in ordinary life. I used to be a young person, busy with work, engrossed in ambitions, until one day, I was startled to see my mother's hair had turned white. My father's hands trembled. At that time, I didn't know where to turn back to. But then, I learned that every small action today, if done with a grateful heart, is sowing seeds of peace for the future. In the Buddha's eyes, who are parents? In the Anguttara Nikaya, the Buddha taught, even if you carry your father on your left shoulder and your mother on your right shoulder for 100 years, providing them with enough food and clothing, you still cannot repay their deep kindness. Parents are not only those who give birth to us physically, but also those who lay the foundation for our souls. In Buddhism, the gratitude to parents ranks first among the four great debts of gratitude. Gratitude to parents, gratitude to teachers, gratitude to the nation, and gratitude to all living beings. I remember once hearing a friend complain because his father kept repeating an old story. I just said gently, "There will come a time when you crave to hear that again. But there will be no one left to tell it." And he was silent. Some lessons don't need to be profound. You just need to listen with a heart that is not ungrateful. The silent distances. There is a very special distance between parents and children. It is not in words, but in silence. The silence of the elderly, afraid of causing trouble. The silence of the young, thinking they have plenty of time to show love later. But in Buddhist teachings, every moment is now. The Buddha taught that time is impermanent. When you delay love, you are depriving yourself of the opportunity to create blessings for yourself. The story of Maudgalyayana. The value of filial piety. Venerable Maudgalyayana was the disciple with the greatest supernatural powers of the Buddha. But what made him great was not his supernatural powers, but his filial piety. When he learned that his mother was reborn as a hungry ghost because of her bad deeds in the past, he did not resent or avoid it. He used all his cultivated merits to ask the Buddha to help save his mother from suffering. That story is not only a symbol of filial piety, but also reminds us that spiritual achievement cannot lack gratitude. Many young people today easily talk about cultivating the heart, easily talk about enlightenment, but forget that the foundation of enlightenment is to be filial to parents first. Without that, cultivation is just an empty shell, touching the silent pain of the elderly. There is a pain that many parents are carrying, but they never speak out. It is the feeling of being forgotten, being pushed aside in the very home they once built. The older they get, the less they demand. But that doesn't mean they don't need attention. In Buddhist teachings, compassion is not only for strangers, but must first arise from within the family. A filial heart is the heart of the Buddha. If you want to cultivate yourself, first practice within your family. I once visited a temple in the countryside. There was an old woman who swept the yard, washed leaves, and lit incense every day. I asked, "Why don't you live with your children and grandchildren?" She smiled sadly. "They are busy. I'm old. I can live anywhere." I bowed my head to her, because she is the embodiment of a silent love, but is forgotten by her own loved ones. Paradox. When parents grow old but children remain young. A painful paradox is, when we are young, parents support us in everything. But when they are old and weak, we are not mature enough to do the opposite. We are still the children who need them to clean up, remind us, and even take care of our souls. The Buddha taught that the karma of indifference lies not in malice, but in apathy, and that apathy can lead to an invisible retribution that we ourselves will be lonely when we are old. I once witnessed a mother collapse at the dining table from a heart attack. Next to her was her child, engrossed in scrolling on social media. That scene haunted me, not because of the tragedy, but because it was too real. The greatest blessing in life, having parents to love. Some people spend their whole lives looking for a benefactor, but they don't know that the greatest benefactors are their own parents. As long as they are still here, there is still a place to return to. There are still people to teach us how to be decent human beings. In a sutra, the Buddha said, "Serving parents is accumulating merit 100 times greater than making offerings." Those who serve their parents with reverence will have peace in this life and enjoy blessings in the next. I once interviewed a very successful businessman. When asked what he was most proud of, he said, "I used to bathe my mother every day for the last 3 years of her life." Anything can be lost, but that memory, no one can take away from me. Love is action, not just emotion. Love is not a beautiful concept. It must be lived every day. With parents, love lies in whether you are willing to put aside your phone to eat with them. Whether you stop in the middle of being busy to ask, "Mom, how are you today?" Love doesn't need to be grand, but it must be real. Like water, quiet but always quenching thirst. I used to be hurt because I thought my mother didn't understand me. But then one day, I read a line in my mother's diary. "My son is so strong, but I wish he knew that he doesn't need to brace himself when he comes home." I cried. Gratitude is the root of the way. Buddhism begins with the two words, gratitude. Gratitude for life, gratitude for people, gratitude even for difficulties. But the highest is gratitude to parents, those who silently bear all the pain for us to have peace. Young people may not have enough money to do big things yet, but they can wash their father's feet, wash their mother's hair, set the table, or listen when they need to share. That is living Dharma. I once went to a retreat and met a young monk. When asked why he became a monk, he replied, "I witnessed my mother raising me alone, going hungry so I could go to school. I don't want my mother to suffer anymore. I cultivate to dedicate the blessings to her." Not having time, but having a heart. We often say, "When I'm free, I'll come home." But there is a very sad truth. Parents cannot wait for us forever. And one day, we will see unread messages, unanswered calls, and the house has turned off its lights. The Buddha taught, every day we can serve our parents is a day worth living. Live as if today is the last chance for us to say, "I love you." Mom and Dad, true happiness is when you can still call out the two words, Mom and Dad. Don't wait until their picture is on the altar, only then to start missing them. Don't wait for the Vu Lan season to light incense and bow your head to cry. Happiness is opening your eyes every morning and still seeing Mom walking around the house. It is coming home in the evening and still hearing Dad ask, "Have you eaten yet?" That is a miracle, but it is easily taken for granted. I once saw a man sob at his mother's funeral. He said only one sentence, "I was planning to visit Mom next month." Make a call, send a hug, come home sooner. If you still have parents, call them today, send a message, give a hug, or simply come home and sit with them in silence. That is the simplest way to practice. It is a small action, but full of merit. The Buddha taught, if you want to know the blessings of your past life, look at your current life. If you want to know the blessings of your next life, look at how you live today. Thank you for listening, contemplating, and allowing love to spread. The Mother in Heart channel is not just a place you visit, but a place where you return to the warmest and most complete version of yourself. The next video will be about the Silent Father, the unspoken sacrifices that bring you to tears. Love is understanding. Filial piety is cultivation. Subscribe to the channel now so you don't miss the next videos in this meaningful journey. Wishing you always maintain peace in your heart. wishing you a warm and peaceful day.